All right, so I'm looking at this 8 months on the job. Does it feel like 8 days or 8 years?
Probably more like 8 years, if I'm being honest. No, it's been great. It's been a great 8 months. A lot of things have happened over the last 8 months. Starting with building our staff out and getting to know our great players, getting adjusted to the city of Louisville. A lot of great things that have happened. It's been tremendous experience so far. It just met a ton of great people throughout Louisville, on our campus, but also out in the community. It's been awesome, and we love working with our players and our staff. I mean, it's something that we talk about all the time. We want our guys to come to the building all the time, and the same thing with our staff. I mean, it's an environment where we can't wait to get back to the office and start back, and it's fun. And I think that's how you continue to get better. So it's been a great 8 months, and looking forward to the season.
I know we have the big city with a small town mentality here. I know you've been busy too, but have you and your family had a chance to enjoy some of the things Louisville has to offer?
We have, particularly all the food spots. I mean, which is tremendous.
Talking to the right guy.
Yeah. We like to eat. I think collectively our staff's probably average of 17 or 18 pounds, right in that range, the last 8 months. There's some great spots, and you don't not just one. I mean, a variety. I love that. I love being able to go out and checking out the different restaurants, different venues. We've been to 3 or 4 different concerts, and we didn't have all this in Little Boone, North Carolina. But it's so we've taken advantage of a lot of those things whenever we've had some downtime, and which we hadn't had much of that. But I think more than anything too, really when we're out. The people have come up, and said, "Hey, welcome. We're so glad you're here," and all that. That's an awesome feeling for us and our family, and one that we truly appreciate.
By my count, we got 3 weeks, and we got a football game. Does that time fly by typically, or does it drag? Does it never get to the games?
No, I think it's going to fly by these next 3 weeks. We're working. Our guys are working their tails off right now, and we have about a week more camp, and then we'll start school. But it's going to be flying by. We cherish every single day. We're trying to stay in the moment, trying to get better every single day. And but it'll be here. We'll be here before we know it, and then the season will fly by. It'll be December. I mean, and the older you get, I guess I've realized that the years just continue to fly by. The older you get, and we tell our players about that. A lot of these seniors remember when they first got here. And all of a sudden 4 years later, their senior year, and it does fly by. So you do have to cherish each and every moment, each and every day, and that's where we're at right now.
We heard a lot from the players about transforming attitude, but a lot of it too has been transforming the body. And I know Mike Siriano has done an incredible job. Talk about just that process and what you've seen from the players and the work they put in.
Well, yeah, you could bring each one of them up here and kind of, they can talk about their own story about, taking off the bad weight and putting on the right, correct muscle. And Mike and his staff have done a tremendous job. Matt Summers and his staff, unbelievable job. Our nutritionist. I mean, there's so many people that are involved with that, not one person by any means. And the way they put the work in, our players, I mean, they deserve a lot of credit, because they bought in and they're listening to what the people are telling them. Here's what you need to be eating. Here's how you can get the muscle. Here's how you lose the fat. All those things, and they bought in. They changed their bodies. I think we got a fast football team. We're a lot stronger. Than we were in December. We are now. So there's a lot of positives that's happened over the last 8 months with these guys, and a lot of them have changed their bodies, and that's exciting.
Is that what you're most proud of off the field, or maybe are there other things?
No, I think the most thing I'm proud of is really how welcoming the guys have been for us and our staff, and how they've kind of bought into everything that we're selling them. They were eager and hungry. Vince mentioned it. I mean, they're so hungry to get out there and prove, what kind of character they do have and what kind of fight they do have. And so that's what I'm proud of. I'm proud of the way they're carrying themselves. And you talk to Justin Ruffin, our academic coordinator, of how, what they've done in the classroom. We had the highest GPA this last semester that they've had since Justin's been here. So, I mean, they've done the right
things. We're going to take a moment to recognize the assistants, but we mentioned Mike, we mentioned Justin, we mentioned a few others. If we could just have that support staff that helps this football team on a day-in, day-out basis, please stand so we can thank you for all the work that you do, including Justin. And yes, Justin has the best national anthem I've ever heard on the saxophone. It's legit. He's legit. All right, we've heard the talk about culture. How have you gone about building that culture and changing it? Because I'd imagine that anytime you take a new job, there's always going to be challenges, but this may have been a little more unique to anything you've experienced.
Yeah, I mean, I think culture is a word that gets thrown around a lot, but there's a culture in every organization. Some of them are not very good, some of them are really good. And so the thing we've tried to do is come in and just be who we are, just the way we've run our programs in the past, and that's all we know how to do. We've been pretty successful with that, so we brought that into this organization. And it starts with being consistent. I think you have to be consistent on a daily basis and be who you are, not trying to be something that you're not. And I think our players, probably the first couple of months, we're still trying to figure us all out, and seeing what makes us tick and, waiting for somebody to jump all over them or something. I said this from day one, that we want to put our arm around these guys, love on them, build them up, project positive energy. That's what we're trying to do each and every day. But being consistent. I think Coach Mike and his staff have done a great job with that because they see them every single day. But we've created that culture. The attitude and the effort. It takes zero talent to have a great attitude and give everything you got. And that's the thing that we started from day one. And these guys have done that. This summer was tremendous, of holding each other accountable and all the things that they did. It was fun to see as a coach. We're just kind of sitting back and seeing them run and seeing them work out. And I'm like, man, I'm just so fired up for these guys because I know this is going to be the best experience that they've had. And they're going to have fun doing it each and every day. And I think when you talk to them, to a man, they'll tell you the same thing.
Have any observations from the first scrimmage on Saturday?
Well, we still got a lot of work to do. And I think, one of the things we always talk about, we're always trying to strive for perfection. We'll never get there, but we want to strive for perfection each and every time. And so we're on the field. Now, there's a lot of great plays that happen Saturday. A lot of great plays. And, but it wasn't perfect. And we got to strive to be perfect. And, and I think that we saw a lot of great things, throughout the middle of the scrimmage. I think the defense really got after it well. I think they ended up creating maybe 6 or 7 turnovers throughout that middle section. And then at the end, the offense ended up scoring, I think maybe 8 out of the 15 possessions in the red zone there. So, it was positives on both sides. A lot of things we got to work off the film. But we ended up running close to 150 snaps. And that was a long scrimmage, over 3 hours, and which is obviously done on purpose. We got a lot of work to do, but we're very encouraging, excited to see the guys get out there and play.
As we focus in a little bit on the offense, let's go ahead and ask the offensive coaches, please stand, and we can recognize the work you guys have done and continue to do. Dwayne Ledford, the offensive coordinator, actually played against the Cardinals in the last ever game at Old Cardinal Stadium, in case you didn't know that. But how about our offensive coaches? There's more than just Coach Ledford. Talk a little bit about this off. Did anybody not stand up? Do we need to call anybody out?
I think everybody stood up.
All right. Just want to be sure. It's about accountability, right?
That's exactly.
Tell me a little bit about the offense, and maybe what you've seen and maybe what we want to look at moving forward.
Yeah, I think the offense, everybody's really dialed in and learned the offense really, really well. I think, this is the thing we're sitting here talking about how, in a short period of time, you basically had February 15 practices. And then this summer, we're trying to get, steal some moments in there in the summertime to try to learn this offense. And then you come in here, we've had 7 or 8 practices. And these guys done a great job of picking up on this offense. It's not like you have a redshirt year to learn the offense. This is a very short period of time to try to learn this offense. And these guys have done a great job with it. We're not executing right now at the level we need to execute, which we got 3 weeks, and so we'll get that going. But it's encouraging to see because you can see a play that hits, and everybody did it right. And you're like, yes, that's what it's supposed to look like. One of the things we're doing right now offensively is we call it a card tape. We're picking out 5 to 10 plays every practice. This is exactly what it should look like. And so we're watching it as an offense every evening just to see exactly what it should look like. And they're getting better and better and better with that. It's exciting to see. I think probably one of the strengths offensively that was probably a question mark would be the tight end position. I think those guys have done a great job. H-backs and our Ys that are on the ball, those guys have done an outstanding job because we want to be a team to be able to utilize our tight end. And then I think our running back depth is really nice. We got 6, 7 running backs that we feel like can really carry the ball. And then I think we've already talked about our receivers. I think those guys are really talented, done a lot of great things. And then obviously the offensive line. The offensive line is probably the hardest position offensively to come around. You got 5 guys have to play as one. and they've done a great job with that. Coach Leffer's done a great job with those guys, and they're continuing to mold, and the chemistry's coming together, so it's good to see.
I guess we flipped the script then. Coach Brian Brown, an aggressive defensive style. What have you seen from the defense?
Yeah, Coach Brown, those guys, man. Coach Court and I were just talking about how, if you turn that film on from February to right now, it's night and day. I mean, the defense has come a long way, and it's awesome to see. I'm an offensive guy, but the best friend of it as an offensive guy is defense, and we want to play great defense. And I think what they did Saturday in the scrimmage, creating those turnovers. Today's practice, they got in the backfield, created several sacks today. So I think they've done an outstanding job on that side of the ball. The guys are playing fast, they're running around, we're chasing the football. One of the positives from Saturday is they didn't really give up any big plays. That's the thing that we cannot do. We got to stay on top and not give up those big plays. They did a great job with that, make the offense try to drive the ball. But no, their staff and their players have really done a great job with that.
I know for sure that Blanton and Mason would be mad at me if I didn't at least ask you a little bit about special teams, because I know you got some really quality kids there.
Oh, yeah. Blanton is, he's like a machine, man. He's good. That guy's really good. I sit there and watch him kick, and I'm like, it's unbelievable how good he is. He's consistent. Just his form and everything. I just like to admire that. But then, Mason as a punter, Mason, man, he's got a leg now. I think, we sit there and time the punts every single day, and yesterday was probably his best day of camp, where every punt's over 4.5 seconds. He had about 3 or 4 over 5 seconds hang time. Because we want that. We want over 4 seconds. You got to cover out the punt. I told him, listen, you punt it over 5, I can cover that punt. So we need to keep it over 5 seconds when we do have to punt the football.
And you got a great group of gentlemen that coach in defense and special teams, and we can have those individuals stand too, so we can recognize the additions to the staff on the defensive side of the ball and special teams. So I think you probably answered that to a certain extent, but where do you want the next 3 weeks to take you?
Yeah, next 3 weeks, we've got to continue to develop our depth. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that we have. I feel like, we put our first group out, and those guys will be very good and solid and very competitive. But we all know in the game of football, you're going to have guys get dinged up. You got to rotate guys. We got to play a lot of players and, special teams. And so right now, working on that depth, I think is probably the biggest thing. And then really, and we talked about our team, is finding roles for everybody on this team. What is your role going to be? And then how well can you do that role? Whatever that is. And we want to have a role for every one of our players. If it's 80 snaps every Saturday, or if I'm on a scout team and I'm going to be the quarterback, for whoever we're getting ready to play. I mean, I'm going to give it my best ability. So find those roles for our guys, and that's kind of what we're going to work out the next 3 weeks, and then get ready to go for Notre Dame.
Talking with PJ about his degree, there are people that go to college for 4 and 5 years that don't have extracurricular activities and struggle to finish the degree. To have guys on the team that have that degree in hand, that's got to be really gratifying for you and the staff.
That's awesome. That's why they're here. That's why they're here, is to get a degree. And they'll never get that taken away. And it's going to open up doors for them the rest of their life. And, I want to give some props to the communication department, because PJ is unbelievable, isn't he? I mean, that guy can talk, man.
You know what? Let's have those guys stand that have the degree in hand. Let's see you. Who's graduated from
All
the
the guys
University of
graduated.
All right. September 2nd. What do you want to see out of these fans here at the University of Louisville? I know that the spring game offered some unusual circumstances, but we've had some other gatherings like this one.
It was snowing.
It was.
It's not really spring.
I was on the sideline for that one. That was interesting. But you got to be excited about such a big event, big game, big stage.
Well, no question. I'm extremely excited. The whole world will be watching that game. I mean, it's the biggest college football game on. It's the only one on right there on national TV that night. We get to showcase not only our football program, but our university, our city. There's so many positives that have come out about that. So I'm just excited to run out of that tunnel for the first time, come out on that field and see the excitement from our fans. And, we obviously can't do it without all of you that are in this room right here and the rest of the 60-some thousand or whatever it may be that shows up for that game. I'm excited about it. I heard it's a really, really loud stadium. Can't wait to hear it on the sideline. And I was here once before, but I was in the press box. I really didn't hear anything that day. But I'm gonna be on the sideline. I'm gonna be able to hear everything that's going on, and so excited for that. And more than anything, you know, I'm just anxious to see our players. I want to see our players get out there, all the hard work they put in, and let them go out there and put on a show.
Fantastic. Fan Fest is Saturday. Absolutely. We have a Fan Fest on Saturday, a bronze lot, I believe, at the stadium. It's parking lot of the stadium. You'll probably find that. I believe we're 3 to 5 or so. There'll be player autographs. I think there's a beer garden, and inflatables for the kids, but a lot of great things going on. And then I believe that volleyball and women's soccer both have events that night that you can lead right into. But love giving you an opportunity to meet the team, and that'll be a great one. In the meantime, I also believe we have posters on our way out, so we appreciate you taking just one. But before we do that, how about another hand for the head coach of the Cards, Scott Satterfield.